It's Saturday afternoon. Darren Rizzi just gave his final press conference for the week. Got the final injury report, a couple other things he mentioned. We'll talk about all of it. I'm Tim. Let's talk Saints. We're going to start off talking about the injury report because it is a Monday night game. Everything just kind of lagged back a day, and we just got it a little while ago. And there's really only a couple of things to talk about on it. I think that's really relevant. The first one was right off the bat, he just talked about who was in and who was out. And according to Rizzi, Derek Carr's out and Spencer Rattler starting. I think we all knew that, but still, they were still playing the game that if he's ready, he'll go. Conversation starting to come up why we're even leaving the window open for him with less than 1% chance to extend our season beyond week 18. And a good chance we will be mathematically eliminated before that game kicks off Monday night, but yet they're still doing it. I think at this point it's just song and dance, but again, he confirmed what we already knew. Kamara is out, which by all reports and the fact that he didn't practice all week, I think also everybody knew, but it was confirmed. The only thing that he said there, that I found kind of interesting, perplexing, and slightly worrisome is he's talking about a committee approach that they plan on Kendre Miller, Jamal Williams, and Jordan Mims. He talked a little bit about all three of them getting their chances and getting their touches Monday night. Um, I'm all for Kendre Miller. I'm happy with Mims backing him up. To me, this is Jamal Williams' last chance in a Saints uniform that, as Rizzi said, well, he played in that division. He started with Green Bay. He's played in that stadium under the conditions that are expected Monday night, whatever. I just don't know if the guy has any production left in him whatsoever. But okay, if you're going to do it this way, then the final decision, in my opinion, is going to come Monday night. He better throw some numbers up and looks like he's still capable of being an NFL running back because I have been doubting that for much of the year and especially a whole lot lately. The other mention there is they asked specifically about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Rizzi mentioned he's getting very acclimated with the playbook and can run some plays, which we all kind of knew was going to happen coming from a similar offense in Kansas City and being a veteran. Probably not that much of a leap for him to be able to get some of the playbook down. But calling him up from the practice squad for Monday night is still, as Rizzi put it, up in the air. They're definitely taking the other three running backs we just mentioned. So there may not be, depending on how the other positions, who's healthy, who's not, what they're going to use, if they're going to carry the fourth running back and call him up or not. As much as I wanted to see him get some touches Monday night, I'm kind of reading into that, my opinion only. We probably won't see Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I hope we do. Much like MVS, if there's another ex-Kansas City offensive player that we can kind of salvage and help us out. Bub Means had a setback, and Rizzi said he's thinking he's likely going to revert back to IR, which would be pretty much shut him down for the year, obviously. And that MVS has he's mentioned with that chest injury and an illness. His status is still a little unknown. It sounds like it depends mostly if he can get healthy from the illness. Rizzi just mentioned there's a bug or flu or something that's kind of going around the locker room right now. They're obviously trying to isolate players because they don't, want everybody getting sick and not being able to play Monday night. So they haven't been seeing much of him, but he's hoping he'll be ready. But it's at this point, there's just no way of knowing. And kind of talking about the Green Bay side of this injury report, a couple of interesting ones. It really, I think it's the top two because Javon Bullard is a rookie safety who's played well of late, and Quay Walker, who's one of their starting linebackers, have both been listed out with their injuries. And some guys listed there as questionable. One of them's Evan Williams, so if he doesn't play, they would be down two potential safeties for whatever it's worth. Because just to mention that in passing, because I don't really know how serious the guys that are still listed as questionable are. But I think the big thing and really what's going to come down to it for the Saints, and Rizzi did touch on this because he was asked about it, is the weather. Because right now the weather forecast, for all intents and purposes, is forecasted to be crappy Monday night with continued crappiness throughout the whole game. It's not exactly 100% certain exactly what that's going to entail. Rizzi talked about what they were speculating. Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be wet conditions? What exactly is going on? And as he said, it's South Louisiana. Very hard to simulate most of those conditions. He said when they practiced today, it was a little windy, so at least they got a little bit of the wind. But I don't know if that would be anything like they're possibly going to be facing Monday night. The cold, the wet, he said a little harder. So they're leaving early tomorrow because they plan on being up in Green Bay tomorrow night to do their final walkthrough outside, uh, wherever they're going to do it, wherever they can. Hopefully, if those conditions are going to be Monday night, they're going to be going on Sunday night and try to get the team acclimated to it. So hopefully that'll work. We'll see what the weather plays out because I think the weather could be one of the biggest factors that's going to go on in this game and determine who the winner is. Because this time of year, when the weather gets like that, when it's continued crappiness for 4 quarters, a lot of game plans and what teams like to do and their strengths, whether they're the team that's used to playing in it or not, sometimes goes right out the window. And I think that favors a lot of times the underdog, which the Saints clearly are, that level of an uncertainty that you could possibly get. So we'll see how all that plays out. We will be doing Monday night pregame about an hour before kickoff. So a lot of this is going to clear up between now and then in the next 48 hours. Mostly the weather. What exactly we're going to be dealing with, we'll know it by then. The inactive report will come out. So we'll know some of these questionable guys, if they actually managed to get to the point where they can play on Monday or they couldn't. And that's going to factor to a lot what goes on in this game. So this is one where I don't think any game you have question marks up until right before kickoff about how it's going to look, who's going to be available. And this one, it could be some major swings either way for these teams, based on who we know is out and who could potentially be out for various reasons. Then factor in the very real possibility of just an extremely crappy weathers of 4 quarters of football. So there you go. Just kind of catching up a little bit since the last time we talked a couple of days ago on Thursday about what's going to be going on Monday night. We'll recap it and get it all ready for kickoff. He said about an hour before game time, be about 6 p.m. or so Central. We'll do the pregame show and see where everything's situated at. If it's your first time here, please do me a big favor. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notifications, especially so you can be back in time to join us on Monday night. And also, all those things support the channel. But another thing that really helps support the channel is if you could visit Black and Gold merchandise shop on Black and Gold Network.myshopify.com. Check out some of the shirts and the gear that we have. Uh, any and all support is greatly appreciated by the channel. So it's where it stands right now. Just a real quick update. We'll go over it all Monday night, right before kickoff. So till I see you then, I'm Tim. Peace out and hoot at.